it or you don't. Like, if it works out, great. But if it doesn't, like, whatever, next thing. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like such a big deal.
Yeah.
And perhaps that's part of the jadedness. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll get it or I won't.
Yeah, because I think I had mentioned somewhat recently I started feeling that way, and I think it's scary just admitting wanting to do something a lot,
Yeah.
and then just being so like being able to identify the fact that you wanted to do that thing initially, and then actually trying at it and going for it, and then just being on the other end completely of it is just is crazy to me.
You're like expanding the audience on your risk that you're taking. You know, like the more like genuinely you want it out loud. You know, I think it's more like guarded.
It's not necessarily being guarded, but it's just like, here's the thing though, it's like, as jaded as Amy and I may be, as jaded as we are, we're still doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You know?
all the time.
Yeah. There's people who are like, you know what, I wasn't making enough money, I wasn't into it, I wasn't getting the success that I wanted right away, so I stopped, and now I've been an accountant for 7 years at this firm. And here we are. And we're still hustling, and we're still doing it. I think it's just
I have
like
no intention of stopping.
Still serial killing.
The older I get, the more people look at me and shake their head at me like I don't get it, that I like haven't quite let it go, and I'm like, nah, man, you can shake your head at me.
We still got
forever.
dreams. We're just like, we know that we're in it for the long haul, and I think it's just that we're not stressed about the day to day as much, because we're like, you know what, I'll still be here. We'll still be here.
For our cyborg listeners, dreams are what electric sheep have.
Wow, that was like a super layered joke.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad somebody's got some Philip K. Dick
Oh, Jesus.
love in the room.
Good Lord.
Got that dick love in the room.
That was always here. That's the undercurrent of tonight's show.
For sure. Always with the dick love, for sure. Delia, a furrowed brow, what are you thinking right now?
That sounds like the beginning of a great book.
Delia, a furrowed brow.
Yeah, like the stage notes on an awesome screenplay.
I
Just
see
open
it
on
now.
Delia, a furrowed brow.
Beautiful.
Okay, what I wanted to ask and say was, do you think that makes it more difficult for either of you to do things? Just being like regardless of like how well this goes, or if this goes poorly, does it make it like are you do you like?
Is there enough poorly that it could go to where like that would it would be too much?
Like, do you still get nervous about it? And like, because I remember you mentioning during like a neighborhood, like oftentimes people will talk about like nerve and like hunger, right? Like it's why like rappers' first albums are like generally the best ones, because they were hungry for things. Do you think that like that mentality of like, I'm gonna be here regardless whether or not this is like good or bad, like I'm still gonna stick it out? Do you think like that like having that sense of I'm still gonna stick it out, like do you think that changes anything? Like,
I mean, I think it changes the kinds of projects that you like choose to do, because like if you think you're working to be famous, you're going to do a certain path of like jobs and put your effort in certain details. But if you're interested in sort of, I'm interested in the art of theater. I'm interested in like putting things up. I'm interested in trying to write this and trying to accomplish that, and even just existing in the schedule. Just like every time we ramp up the like intensity of what we're doing, in like every time I've tried to make things a little bit harder and a little bit harder on myself every time I do a new project, so that I can move to the next level. So that like if somebody asks me, could you do this once a week? It's like, yeah, I can do this once a week. But I didn't believe I could do it once a week until I did it once a month. And you know what I mean? Like you have to keep ramping up what you're doing. Also, like to a certain extent, like I do art for me. Like I do the projects that I want to do. I'm trying to express myself and what I'm thinking and my point of view on the world. And I think I am still struggling to this day to figure out what it is about my life, what story I need to tell in this world and how it needs to come out. Like, I was thinking about when we talked to Caitlin and we were talking about, she was talking about writing the screenplay. And I thought to myself, like, what would my screenplay about my life be? Like, what do I have to put out there? And sometimes I think that's a little navel-gazing for art, but also it's like, no matter what, whether or not I become famous or whether or not I continue to do plays or write my own stuff, I'm trying to put something out there, and I don't know what it is yet. So I'm just going to keep trying no matter what kind of medium they'll allow me to do it in. And I just keep moving up in the medium. I mean, everything that I've gotten to do gets better and better and better and better. So
I think, I think to go off what you were saying, there's some people that are very externally driven, and maybe they're about, like, the next step, or they're like, you know what, if I'm not, 32 and I'm not in a film with Steve Carell, then I failed. I think there's people that are like that, and maybe that gets them going, but I think you can also burn yourself out doing that. And, like, before I even went into sort of comedy, like, I've been doing theater since I was 12 years old. So I've been doing it for 10 years. That's a marriage.
Yeah.
That's outlasted some marriages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I've been doing theater for 10 years. And so the thing that I've learned is, like, yeah, you can be externally motivated by those things. But what's going to keep you, like, the most emotionally healthy, I think, you have to be internally motivated. Like, if I'm going to sign up to do a show, if I'm going to do this improv group, it's because I have to want to do it. I have to want the thing enough to, like, go out there and do it and put out work that I'm proud of. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'm wasting the audience's time and I'm not making myself a better performer.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's the internal drive where we're just like, I just want to get better and better and better because I want to be the best that I can be at this thing. And it's not about, we're ranking in those fact stacks or partying with Tina Fey all the time. I'd
like to go to one party with Tina Fey.
I would love that.
Like, I'm not saying it's definitely not on the list, but
I wouldn't hate going to a funeral with Tina Fey. Like, I don't know, just like anything that I could just be with Tina Fey.
That would be really sad, though. Like, you walk in and, like, the person that you really want to talk comedy with is, like, at the saddest place, and you can't be like, so, let's talk about improv, right? Yeah, that would not fly
I just
at
want
all.
to see what your attitude on fart jokes is, because I don't
not.
think the jury's out. Yeah.
Oh my God. Deli, are you, with reference to your question, do you think that you're, are you, like, in fear that your journey with comedy is gonna hit a wall and for you, or?
Yeah, you're, like,
I just wondered why you thought about it.
I was just curious because you guys were talking about, like, that sense of, or that intensity of being jaded.
Yeah.
And, I mean, sure, like, I understand what you were saying in that context, and I think that the both of you are great. And I think I just wanted to hear in your own words that, like, you're not that jaded.
No.
Like, you're not.
It's just, not in my career. No, in my career I have high hopes. I believe I'm going to get all the things I want because so far I have, so why not believe it? I'm a little jaded really more in the social front. I have a hard time making friends. I have a hard time interacting with people, which is why I put theater in between.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, the idea that it's 1,000 times easier to talk in front of a large audience than it is to speak to a small group of people. And even just having these conversations in this room with y'all has improved my, like, ability to talk to small groups of people. But, like, for a long time I wasn't so... I get anxious about stuff, and also I feel outside of everything because I'm older than everybody, and I have that sort of. I guess I feel an outsider for various reasons, but that's just one that seems glaring in the moment.
Yeah, I think I just was very curious, like, what your guys' opinion was, and I just.
I mean, I definitely have, like, dreams and things that I want to do. And I know, I think it's just because, like, yeah, maybe I'm not, like, bouncing off the walls, but it's just, like, it's, like, I see it every day. Every day I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I think I can do something really important.
Yeah.
I think I can put out there something really, really good. And maybe I'm not, like, you know, high-fiving everybody and talking about how I'm so amazing all the time because it's there. I mean, I'm not worried about it. And I
they're all inspired, you know that. You get up.
I'm there,
you get up, they're
inspiring them
there,
every day.
they don't have to say it. You can see it in their eyes.
Oh man, I'm trying to be here. I'm gonna be inspirational. He's gonna call me on my shit. No, but it's true. No, I do. I'm so much drinking my own Kool-Aid right now. It's not no, but I think I know that, like, I want to do comedy. I want to do stand-up comedy, and I'm willing to, like, put in the 10 years it takes to be even halfway good as a stand-up comedian. And
Man, 32-year-old you is gonna be crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
You think about how funny
I
it'll
can't
be
wait.
then?
Yeah, I know.
And then I want to, like, apply for writing fellowships, to do late night fellowships at, like, NBC Universal, and do SNL or something like that, and be a writer like that. Do sitcoms, make that residual money, sit on my butt like Larry David, and
Just have the show whenever you feel like coming back. I always love that. It's
I'll
like,
just,
hey,
like-
we'll get another Herb this year. You know, it's like I don't know, the Groundhog or the Groundhog didn't see a shadow, so Larry David's coming back and doing another season of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I think, like, in regards to, like, your question, because I didn't really get to answer it.
oh, sorry.
No, just that just because,
Your.
yeah, like, how I felt about it, I feel very much that the following my feet before I knew what to do applies, and, like, it just happened, and now, like, with this, like, I'm starting to breathe into it, and, like, oh shit, I have actually been in things, like, when the fuck did that even happen? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even remember when those, like, I'm just, like, going through the motions and seeing it, like, day to day, like, every day, like, oh, like Sundays mean being at the theater, like, I'm probably gonna be there, like, I haven't thought about it on like, that scale of, like, oh, wow, that's a lot of time that I've invested into, like, a thing. Did that make sense? I feel like it didn't make any sense.
No,
it makes
absolutely.
sense.
Like, you guys are already there, and I'm, like, at that point where I'm just like, oh, I think maybe I would want to do this for a long period of time. Like,
Well, Brett, you just graduated with a theater degree, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're theater degree people.
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
we're
I got that shit in print.
we're like, I paid an excessive amount of money to get a theater degree.
I spent hours out of every week rolling around a floor, going like, oh.
Or Zulu.
I do not. Is that a theater thing? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
take
just-
like movement classes where you roll around on the floor, you like work on your voice. Like, pretty much I spent 4 years learning how to talk about emotions.
I had a hippie acting coach in high school, and then in college there was a guy who ran like the local avant-garde theater, did all the like, you know, mythology plays, which was fun, and he would make us do all these like deeply emotional scenes. Oh my god, one of my favorites ever was a silent scene that we had to do, and I did it with this guy who's like a killer actor. Like, even right now he's like probably on a Shakespeare stage, like being amazing. And we were totally silent, and we were like, we got to decide what our scene was about, like talking in the group, and then we had to enact it in front of him. We decided to be like, he and I were the parents, and we were like getting divorced and telling our kids silently. And I mean, oh my god, it was so freaking amazing. So I mean, I am steeped in some actor bullshit, and I've been doing it for evs. Oh man, yeah. I mean, when people start later, it's harder. I mean, I have this one student that like breaks my heart. He tells me how much he wants to do it, and he's my age, but he's just starting at my age, and I'm like, just do it. And he's like, I really want to, but I don't know. And I'm like, just do it. Literally, like, just do it. You're doing it. You're here. It's happening. Like, and he's like, I don't know. And he like hasn't shown up to stuff, and it's his last class, and like, I don't know if he'll show up at the recital. And I'm like, come on, please.
Well, that's like something that people have to work on, and I have to like work on every day, is like there's this idea, especially I think